Hello and welcome to another video. So in this video, I just wanted to give my thoughts on a couple of comments that I've been receiving over time in response to my advice that people wanting to crack into the software industry build a flagship project. And usually I say this is something small for a client, whether it's a family member, a friend, a local business, or like a volunteer organization, non-profit that you are interested in. And hello, dog. She'll probably go away in a second. But anyway, this advice is what really helped me get my first job. And really good timing, because this dog is the app that I built my pet rescue adoption website for. And that project is still going. And that project got me in the door in my first job, in my internship, which I think it was the deal breaker. If I didn't have that project in my resume or on my resume, I would not have been given the benefit of the doubt to be hired on as a self-taught developer in that internship. Anyway, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that it is fair, or do you think that it's too much? So these people that make these comments saying, you know, you shouldn't have to build such a big project to get your first job, web development's cooked, the industry's a mess because you have to do this, you have to do like paid work to get your first job for free, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to push back on these comments. I honestly don't think that that is the case. There are many industries out there where you need to have a portfolio. You need to have work that backs up your credibility and your competence and shows that you are able to do what you say you can do, what you are, to fulfill the needs of that job that you are applying for. Let's say, for example, you are a product designer. You're going to have a portfolio full of design projects. And these projects can be quite complex. They could be past clients that you got paid for, but usually when you're starting out, they are not. They are things that you have designed yourself for free in your own time, whether or not it's just a project that you've come up with, or for a family member, a friend, a local business, etc. Right? It is quite normal. How do you expect companies to know if you are going to be able to do the job that they are hiring you to do if they have no proof of you being able to do that work? Okay. And I think that this is a great way for you to stand out amongst the competition, because not many people go out and build these apps, because the hardest part is finding a reasonable problem to solve, right? Because you always think too big, and problems aren't going to fall in your lap. You have to go out into the world and find them, talk to people, right? This is the hard stuff. So I think people just dismiss this idea as not being a good idea because they don't have an idea themselves that they would actually pursue. Now, like I said, it's not easy to do that. And that's why it shows competence on your behalf, not only from the coding aspect, but from the ability to take a problem, like find a problem that's worth solving, and then solving it with code and working with a client to solve that, getting their needs, right? And then designing a little application around it, putting it into practice, testing it, refactoring it, improving it, these kinds of things, and then having real world data that is in use in your application and managing that little application as it lives on, right? I'm still managing my dog adoption application several years later. I'm doing a little bit of work on it this weekend coming. It's very few and far between, but it's still going, and it's, now this work is easy for me because I'm 3 years in and it's basic stuff. But in the beginning, these were the kinds of things that I found really challenging, but I learned so much from. So I just don't believe these people that say that it's a bad idea and that is indicative of the industry being in a bad position. I think it is indicative of the industry being competitive and that you need to stand out from your peers. But anything worth doing is going to be hard, and there is a lot of payoff from this. You will learn a ton, and you will look good, and you'll stand out from your competition. I think a lot of people that naysay about this, they're just honestly too lazy to actually put the work in, and they want things to fall on their lap. They think, oh, well, I've got a degree, or I did these projects like these clones and these tutorials, and now I should get hired on. No, that's not how the world works. You need to grind and show that you are worth being hired. That's exactly what I did, and it worked for me. And I think that the same thing will work for the next person, right? The reason is not easy is because it has value. Now with AI, it does change things a little bit. When I was first building my app, AI didn't exist. And I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful because I had to go and I had to figure it out myself. Now with AI, you're still going to have to, you can use AI to help you, though I wouldn't if I were you, but you can. But you must be able to back up the decisions, and you must anticipate the kinds of questions that you're going to get asked in an interview with respect to your design choices. Because if you have no answers for that, they're not going to be impressed. You know, design choices, trade-offs, and being honest about how you used AI and when and why. So these are just my 2 cents on doing a project like this. Yes, it's unpaid. Yes, it's hard work. Is it indicative of the industry being cooked? No, not at all. What it is separating you from your peers. And it's why you will get that interview and get that job, because your peers cannot be bothered to do that work and put the work in, right? And this is specifically for companies that value these kinds of projects and have more practical technical assessments. They're the kind of companies I've been hired on. If it's leak code style companies and interview processes, it may be a little different. The project might get your foot in the door, but then you still got to overcome that leak code challenge as well. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on a bit here, but these just been thinking about it, and I honestly just don't think it's good advice to not have a flagship project, especially if you're self-taught, because you really need to stand out. And even if you have a CSC degree, having a flagship project that's built a full web application in a web framework, which, guys, is not that complicated to do. It is hard, but it's not overly complicated to do. And it's something that you can build in a couple of months of sideline work. That's worth its weight in gold if you were trying to stand out and look impressive. All right, I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are as well. You know, I'm just n equals 1 again, and I may be wrong. So tell me your opinions here, and I'll see what my dog wants. Have a good one. See you in the next one.